Now, China, as a permanent member of the Security Council and a very important member of the United Nations family, is critical in the way it is advancing the multilateral agenda. Today, the world is facing multiple crises. So ever since the Second World War, this is the most complex period that the world is in. We are seeing a health pandemic, which has had a big impact on human health and health systems. It has also had an economic impact. We have a climate crisis which looms like the sword of the Damocles. It is an existentialist crisis. We have a crisis of conflicts, over 80 conflicts going around all over the world. So it is a very complicated period. We are also seeing rising levels of hunger. The Sustainable Development Goals are completely off track. Now, China, as a permanent member of the Security Council and a very important member of the United Nations family, is critical in the way it is advancing the multilateral agenda. I can vouch for that, having been the UN resident coordinator here in this country for the past 5 years. I have seen firsthand how China not only has been able to lift 700 to 800 million people out of abject poverty since its opening up, but at the same time, it is also supporting many other countries through forums like the Forum for China-Africa Cooperation, working with African countries, through initiatives like the Global Development Initiative, which is providing a lot of support to many, many countries all over the world, through initiatives like the Global Civilization Initiative, which is allowing an interlocking of people to have better understanding of each other. So these are extremely important initiatives to advance the multilateral agenda. So on all counts, China is doing very important work. And most importantly, China is also acting as a bridge for peace. For example, Iran and Saudi Arabia were at one time unthinkable that one day they will be friends or having embassies in each other's country, thanks to the efforts that China made to advance that agenda. I think we need more peace. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said when he took over in 2017 as the Secretary General, he says, the world is in pieces, we need world peace. And I see China's important efforts in that direction. Now, on many fronts, what China is also doing is rallying countries towards common agendas. It has been a great supporter to the Sustainable Development Goals. The initiative such as the Global Development Initiative was really created so as to give more velocity, more effectiveness to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. All of it is to make sure, and we welcome any country that comes in to support this SDG. So on that count, China is doing incredible work. I work very closely with the government on multiple fronts. The UN has a cooperation framework with China, which spans from 2021 to 2025. It has been very effective in delivering it. This cooperation framework is also aligned to the 14th five-year plan, where already we've seen the results from the National Development Reform Commission that about 90% of the results have been achieved. I see China's movement, let's say, on the climate agenda, and the green transition is one which is commendable on all counts. Why? Because what we need is this transformation to go away from fossil fuel, protect our environment, protect our climate, as we're seeing a triple planetary crisis. China's work in terms of working on the triple planetary crisis, which includes air pollution, climate change, as well as biodiversity loss. Important work which is happening over there. So we need China's leadership in the climate agenda. We need China's leadership in the health agenda. And I want to congratulate China and commend it for recently announcing a big sum of nearly $500 million in support of the World Health Organization. That is an important step forward to safeguard public health, because ultimately what COVID showed us was if we don't have good health, we will not have anything. So we are seeing many affirmative steps that China is taking in support of the multilateral system. The Charter of the United Nations is under threat. The charter under which it was created back in 1945. China has a very important role to safeguard that charter. China has a very important role today as we are seeing the fragmentation of the multilateral system. There is multipolarity which is happening all over the world. We need initiatives by member states to come together to make sure that the United Nations, with the UN Secretary General is trying to do, is to make it fit for purpose. The United Nations is responsive to everybody in the world. The fact that today countries are walking away from that multilateral system is a troubling phenomena. I think we will need China's leadership to again rally back and bring countries together around the multilateral agenda.